most famous racing game franchise in the world. Need for Speed has been the place to go for virtual races for over 25 years. Publisher Electronic Arts sold around 150 million games with the 24-part Need for Speed series, making it the king of the arcade racing throne. While many racing games on PC and console have steadily developed in the direction of simulation and realism, the Electronic Arts brand still stands for unlimited, arcade-style driving fun. We look back at the development of Need for Speed in our first edition of Retro Racer. Let's go back to 1994. Electronic Arts are launching a racing game called The Need for Speed, but for the time being, not for the PC, but for the 3DO. Behind this cryptic name is a console that was launched by EA co-founder Trip Hawkins. The device was not successful, but the game was popular. In the years that followed, The Need for Speed was ported to other platforms such as the PC and the PlayStation. With 8 vehicles, like the Lamborghini Diablo and Porsche 911, hot races were held here on various tracks. And above all, one feature of the Need for Speed series was there from the start: the hot pursuit.
Congratulations! You've just won an all-expenses-paid county vacation.
4 years later, with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, the chases were in the spotlight. The third offshoot of the franchise was a milestone for EA. Even more vehicles, even more tracks, and different modes. In the title-giving mode Hot Pursuit, you not only had to get away from the police yourself, but you could also get into a patrol car and catch other speeders. Roadblocks and nail strips also made for a lot of action. Hot Pursuit was popular and still has the highest Metacritic rating in the Need for Speed series. No wonder that this offshoot should remain the focus of developers. After Need for Speed High Stakes and Porsche, the chase was resumed with Hot Pursuit 2 in 2002. It was the first game from the developer EA Black Box, who mostly worked on the Need for Speed series for the next 6 years. The publisher EA was still looking for something new, and so the next game was based on a different franchise. With the Fast and Furious series, illegal street races in the tuning scene came to the cinemas. EA liked the scene, and in 2003, Need for Speed Underground was launched. An excellent decision. Underground was a complete reorientation of Need for Speed. Races were held at night. Draft and drift races were introduced, and the tuning options were popular with players. A story provided the right atmosphere, which was musically accompanied by popular rock and hip-hop artists. Underground hit the nail on the head. The police and car chases had radio silence for the time being. EA stuck to its new successful concept and released Underground 2 a year later. The principle stayed the same, and they just expanded the game. The Explore mode now made it possible to drive around freely in the city. An improved online mode and a LAN mode let friends race among themselves to find out who is the king of the streets. The king of the streets was decided in Need for Speed Most Wanted with the Blacklist. The Blacklist is a list of the 15 most wanted drivers, so it's clear that the car chases are back. The 9th part of the franchise is still largely based on its 2 underground predecessors, but brings back a few elements of the Hot Pursuit games. You can still do tuning, but you are more limited, and daylight has returned. Nonetheless, the skirmishes with the police in Most Wanted are among the most atmospheric in the Need for Speed series. In the years that followed, EA tried quite a bit with the Need for Speed brand. After a rather inconspicuous Need for Speed Carbon, which followed Most Wanted, Pro Street followed on closed racetracks. With Undercover, we went into illegal street races again for a short time, but this garnered a lot of negative reviews. EA changed the tactics and commissioned 3 games to various development studios to find out which direction in a racing game was the right one at the time. One of them was Need for Speed Shift, which completely abandoned the underground image. In Shift, you become a racing driver who had to fight their way through classic league races. The game also took a step towards racing simulations. The driving behaviour was far more realistic compared to games in recent years. Instead of the blacklist or tuning, the focus was now on the ideal line. Despite the break with Need for Speed Image, Shift got good reviews and was continued with Shift 2 Unleashed in 2011. Another attempt was Need for Speed World, the first pure online game in the series. World played in a spacious, freely navigatable world. This consisted of the fictional regions in which the earlier series parts Most Wanted and Carbon played. The game brought tons of cars and familiar modes, but the game was far from a resounding success. A lifeless game world and an unsatisfactory free-to-play system were the biggest criticisms. The servers were shut down on the 14th of July 2015. After a few failures, EA relied on proven concepts. A new Hot Pursuit part from 2010 was another success. Need for Speed Most Wanted from 2012 was also well received by the target group, even if it didn't have much to do with the original from 2005. Need for Speed from 2015 as an online game at least lets the world experience live on to this day. Meanwhile, the franchise also hit the big screen. After initially being influenced by the Fast and Furious franchise, a film adaptation of Need for Speed came into the cinemas in 2014 and took almost $200 million at the box office. On the game market, the last parts of the series were released with Payback in 2017 and Heat in 2019. Heat is now the 24th game in the Need for Speed cosmos. The game from developer Ghost Games takes place in a fictional version of the city of Miami, Florida. Open world has become the standard in Need for Speed. Of course, there are again illegal street races and car chases with the police. The latest edition seems to combine many successful models from the past few years. However, the innovative ideas of the 2000s are still missing. So, has the franchise gone a little rusty? In 2021, the 25th Need for Speed game is set to make the virtual streets unsafe. This time, the development studio Criterion takes over again, which has already brought new editions of Hot Pursuit and Most Wanted to the shop. We are curious to see which route will be taken this time. But one thing is for sure, the Need for Speed is always there. For more racing content, visit our homepage at overtake.gg and watch all our other videos on our YouTube channel.